Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the latest developments in the Young Thug trial. A motion has been filed and I have all of that for you next. Let's get it. Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast, where culture meets courage. My name is Mark and I'm your host. New developments in the Young Thug RICO trial. A motion has reached the desk of the highest court in Georgia, and it was filed by one of the case's co-defendants. Yak Gotti, whose real name is Diamante Kendrick's legal team, has filed a motion to make Judge Ural Glanville step aside. Yeah, they're asking him to step aside again. But first, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for all updates. And as I say all the time, thank you all for continuing to watch my videos. And I thank you so much for subscribing. Now let's talk about this current trial. Young Thug's defense team has made a significant move. They've asked the Georgia Supreme Court to force the judge overseeing the rapper's case to just recuse himself. They're arguing that a secret meeting with the prosecutor and the star witness, Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, was a serious violation of judicial ethics. Their argument, well, it revolves around the extraordinary courtroom episode from last week. And if you watch my video, you saw what happened. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description. But Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, revealed that he had learned of an ex parte meeting between Glanville, the prosecutors, and Lil Woody. Now, ex parte is a legal term. It's Latin, which means out of party. Steele kind of argued that this meeting without the defense counsel present was a clear ground for a mistrial. He also claimed that Glanville had helped the prosecutors coerce the uncooperative Copeland into testifying with threats of extended jail time. Now, this goes back to the first day that Lil Woody was on the stand. He took the stand, got sworn in, and then he decided that he was going to plead the fifth. And that pissed the judge off, so much so that he held him in contempt and then ordered him to jail. Now, that led to the exchange in the courtroom. Judge Glanville placed Steele in the contempt of court. We saw that on the video. He sentenced him to 20 days for his actions because Steele was refusing to give up the source. Now, y'all saw that exchange. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The judge was up there acting like he was Suge Knight. You're going to give me a name, bullying Steele. And Steele said no. He ordered him to jail for 20 days and told him that he could serve it on the weekends. Now, I ain't no attorney. So I didn't know what ex parte meeting was. So like everyone else in the human world, with a smartphone, I went to Google, and this is what I found from the text. An ex parte communication, once a case is before the court, no person shall communicate with the assigned judge relating to the merits of the case without the knowledge and consent of all other parties to the matter, provided that the judge, now here's the part, may communicate with other judges related to the merits of the case at any time, or where circumstances require ex parte communications are authorized for scheduling, administrative purposes, or emergencies that deal with substantial matters or the issues on the merits, provided that the judge reasonably believes that no party will gain procedural or a tactical advantage as a result of the ex parte communication, and the judge makes provisions to promptly notify all parties of the substance of the ex parte communication and allows an opportunity to respond. Should a judge receive a communication prohibited by this rule, he or she shall notify all parties of the receipt of such communication and its contents. So y'all see the rule, you see the law. Why bring this up before the Supreme Court, you may ask? Well, the Supreme Court in Georgia could significantly affect this case. If the petition is granted, it would be the second time that they have stepped in this case. You know, last week they hit the pause button on Steele going to jail, and they agreed to review the judge's decision to hold the lawyer in contempt. So they've already stepped in and said, okay, Steele, you don't have to go to jail for the 20 days. So they could come back and do this again. But it also brings into question, for me, should Glanville just recuse himself now and just stop all the charades and this circus that's going on? Because right now, Fulton County look like a kangaroo court. Now, it's just my opinion, but I believe that the Supreme Court is going to rule in favor of Yak Gotti. I believe that they're going to recuse the judge. Now, you may say, man, what are you talking about? Man, okay, so let's unpack this real quick. Let's look at the circumstances. Did Judge Glanville violate Rule 616.12-10? I believe so, and here's why. If we go back to the rule, right, it's simple. Judge Glanville did not inform Brian Steele and the other defense attorneys of the meeting. We know that because that's in the actual claim that Brian Steele did in court last week. Nor were they privy to any of the contents of the said meeting. Now, if you saw the exchange between Steele and Judge Glanville, you know that he didn't know anything about it because the judge told him that he wasn't supposed to know anything about the meeting. So because of that, you're already in violation. We also know that this meeting was not for scheduling, administrative purposes, and we also know it's not for emergencies. And based on what they're alleging, that the meeting was by and part a coercion attempt to force Lil Woody to testify or go back to jail, I think we can say that this would qualify as a tactical advantage, considering that he is the prosecution's star witness. Now, earlier in the week, Steele and the other defense attorneys, they demanded that the judge step aside from the case over the incident. In his motion, Steele argued that Glanville had forfeited his role as an impartial judge and had become part of the prosecution team. So he just said, you know what? We think that you have put yourself in a position where you can't not be impartial or you can't not be biased. We already know Judge Glanville, he was not going to sit up there and recuse himself, so he could quickly deny the request, saying it was based on some bare assertions and some legal conclusions or something. I don't know what that means. Y'all can look that up, please. If y'all know what bare assertions and legal conclusions, I'm not going to Google that, but you know, just put it in the chat. We can Google some other stuff, right? So we come to the filing from yesterday, and the motion was filed by Yak Gotti's attorney. And I want to read what they put here about the ex parte meeting. I'm going to leave a link in the actual motion, so if you want to download it, you can read it for yourself. So here we go. This is from page 12 and 13. It's, quote, a central figure, perhaps the central figure, in the state's case against Kendrick and the other defendants is Michael Kenneth Copeland. On Friday, June 7, 2024, Copeland was sworn in. After being given a grant of immunity and being warned by Glanville that incarceration may be the result for refusing to testify, Copeland continued to plead the fifth. And they have like this affidavit, you see all that. And then it says Copeland was held in contempt and ordered incarcerated by Glanville on that date. Glanville instructed Copeland and all the parties that Copeland would return to court on Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m., where Copeland would announce whether he was prepared to testify. Okay, so moving on. Let's go down to page 13 here. It says, unknown to any member of the defense counsel. Okay, so we see the part. They said that this was not known to them. An ex parte proceeding was held in Glanville's chamber on June 10th, 2024. Now, we already know that he ordered Lil Woody back into court on that Monday, which was June 10th. And this was when the meeting took place. So this was before the actual trial started for the day. Among the attendees was Glanville, ADA Love, ADA Hilton, investigators of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, deputies, sworn witness Copeland, and Copeland's attorney, Miss Kayla Bumpus. No member of the defense counsel was present at the ex parte proceeding, despite Copeland's invocation of his Fifth Amendment rights being at a critical phase of the trial. So Lil Woody has already pleaded the fifth. He gets ordered to jail over the weekend. He gets ordered to reappear in court again on that Monday. And now they had this ex parte meeting. So let's continue. Neither Glanville nor any member of court staff nor the Fulton County DA office made any member of the defense counsel aware of the ex parte meeting proceedings either before, during, or after the proceeding. All right, y'all. All right. So we see what just happened. They're saying, hey, this meeting happened. We didn't know nothing about it. Because of that, we need him to recuse himself. The judge himself, Judge Glanville. Now we get to see what the court is going to do. Now, if the court decides to grant the defense request, this could put this trial on hold. Now, like I said, I believe they're going to side with them because Judge Glanville clearly has created what appears to be a conflict of interest in the court. Like I said, I'm no legal scholar. I'm no judge. I'm no attorney. Never been to law school. I'm just a regular person who read this affidavit and, is following this case. And based on what I am seeing, if I was, a juror or something, I could see some conflict of interest in this case. And if it does get to that point where he gets recused, this is going to give, Thug and Yak Gotti and all the other defendants who are still fighting this case, it's going to give them more time to prepare. Or who knows? The Supreme Court may say, you know what? We tired of what's coming out of Fulton County. We tired of y'all abusing the law in Fulton County. Prosecution office, this is a circus. So we're just going to simply throw this case out. Now, on the other hand, what if the court does decide to, deny the request? Then the trial gonna proceed as planned. The only thing that would be left for them to decide would be whether or not Brian still goes to jail for 20 days. Now, what y'all think? I want to hear y'all thoughts about this. Do you think that the Georgia Supreme Court is going to halt this case? And if they do halt the case, what impact is that going to have on Young Thug's future case down the road? Yo, just drop your comments below and then Let's discuss it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'll be providing you all more updates as this comes along. This case has been going on for 1.5 years, and I'm very, very interested in it now because it seems like it's turning into something very, very interesting. So like I said, just let me know. Hey, let me know in the chat. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Culture Nation. Let's keep it culture.